Our veteran we interviewed is named Cedric Fields. He was drafted in 1943 to fight in World War II against the Japanese in New Guinea. He was only 17.
Okay, so were you fighting the Japanese or were you fighting the Germans?
Japanese,
Were you drafted or did you volunteer to join?
drafted.
When you went to war, did you hate the Japanese or did you just go because you were told to?
We were protecting our country from any further advances by the Japanese.
Were you in the Army, Navy, Air Force, or Marines?
Army.
As the oldest branch of U.S. military, founded in 1775, the Army is a powerful fighting force defending and serving our nation by land, sea, and air. The U.S. Army is made up of the most dedicated, most respected soldiers in the world. These soldiers protect America's freedom while serving at home and abroad, and they are always prepared to defend the nation in times of need.
What experience that you had from the war sticks with you the most today?
Well, like I guess the best thing that's still with me is that I got shot when I was up in New Guinea.
Where did you get shot?
In my left chest.
Did it
But
hurt?
it didn't hurt. It didn't hit my heart.
That's good.
It was just like somebody hit me with their fist at that time.
Were there a lot of friends that you lost during the war?
I didn't. I was one of the. In fact, I guess I was the first one to leave the outfit, and I, to this day, have no idea whatever happened to the rest of them. All I know is that that outfit that I was in went on to Philippines,
Yeah.
but I have no idea and no way of finding out.
What position did you have in World War II? Like, what did you do?
Machine gunner,
Just machine gunner?
yeah.
Were you?
Well, that's when I was in there in basic training. I had training in 81 millimeter mortars and the machine gun and our sidearms, our own carbine.
Was training hard?
Not really. It was tough, but we just kept going and we made it through.
What was the weather like during that time?
Well, and that was here in the States. That was in Camp Roberts up by Pismo Beach. So it was pretty good. It was in summertime. It was pretty hot, but it was tough.
Did you ever get sick on the field?
I did get sick once in toward Lake Santani, inland from Hollandia. 2 or 3 of us went on a little checking things out around our camp, and we ate some papaya right off of the tree, and I got sick on overripe papaya, but went to the beach then, and they gave me some pills and back up to the line where I was with the rest of the group, and I was over it.
So, what battle was significant in your experience?
Well, we had the battle at the landing at Hollandia on the beachhead there, and then our company that landed ahead of us got shot up pretty bad. So as instead of a reconnaissance troop, which we were trained to be, we had to go in as an infantry troop to support them. And after that was over with, which was only a day or two, we then went back inland and took care of stragglers that were around at the lake and everything. Then from there, we came back to the beach, and on LSTs and landing craft, we went up to Biak Island and made the invasion there.
How long were you fighting for?
Well, actually fighting it was about 6, 7 months. And then when I got shot at Biak Island, came back out, and then I was back on recuperation and all of that for a year and a day in the hospital.
How many total battles were you in?
Actually, 2 landings, one in Hollandia under fire and one in Biak Island, both of them in New Guinea.
New Guinea is a large island in the southwest Pacific region. Most of the territory of New Guinea was occupied by Japan during World War II. After World War II, the territories of Papua and New Guinea were combined in an administrative union under the Papua New Guinea Provisional Administration Act, 1945-1946. So after you were shot and in the hospital, did you keep fighting, or did you stay in the army, or did you just?
I stayed in the army, yeah. Actually, a year and a day from the day I got shot till I was discharged from the hospital, and then I spent another 6 months on limited duty after I got out of the hospital. But I had some real good treatment by the veterans hospitals, and everything was fantastic, as it still is today.
Mm-hmm. What was your main meal that you ate?
Good old sea rations. Whatever we could, they'd send us, and we'd be able to get a hold of. Once in a while, we'd find something in the. We did find some salmon occasionally that the Japanese had.
What type of weapons did you use?
I had my .30 caliber machine gun.
The M1919 Browning is a .30 caliber medium machine gun that was widely used during the 20th century, especially during World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. The M1919 required at least a 2-man machine gun team, but in practice 4 men were usually involved: the gunner, the assistant gunner, and 2 ammunition carriers.
Do you have any siblings?
Any what?
Siblings?
My sister is all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Your own,
Huh?
your own children, too? Is that what they're asking?
Siblings. Yeah. Yeah, I have a sister that's 5.5 years younger than I. And she's still around and lives in San Pedro.
What made you want to join? Were you forced, or did you?
I was drafted, but I was very willing to accept being drafted.
The U.S. ended drafting in 1973 and converted to all volunteer military forces. Federal law requires young men to be between the ages of 18 and 26 to register under federal service. By far the largest number of men drafted was for World War II, and there were around 10 million men, following the U.S. withdrawal from Vietnam. As of 2014, all male citizens and legal permanent residents must register. Once called, each man would be examined, classified according to their mental, physical, and moral fitness.
How did you stay in contact with your family and people?
We were able to write to them, but it was seldom that the writing of the letters that we wrote would ever took a while to get out from where we were in New Guinea.
Was it nice to reunite with your family when you got home?
Oh my gosh, yes it was.
Was it a celebration?
Yeah, when I got back to Spokane, up there at the hospital, then I was able to get a few days off and get back down to San Pedro and visit the family. And then when I got out of the hospital, they gave me limited duty at Fort MacArthur in San Pedro. So I spent that last 6 months really at home, but I was still on the base.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. It was the jungle,
The jungle?
yes, of the South Pacific in New Guinea.
So did you guys have tents and stuff to meet?
No, we
No?
didn't have any
No.
tents. We
You just had the outside.
just ourselves, and we were
What
outside.
about food and water?
We had supplies that we were
Supplies.
able to carry with us. We had a lot of rain, a lot of wet weather, and all of that, as you can imagine, in the jungle. It was steamy and all of that. Well, when I finally got an opportunity to get some change of our clothes. I took my boots off, and my socks had all rotted inside the boots, but that's all right. That was in Brisbane, Australia, when we first got down there. We had a kangaroo that the other groups had already sort of trained a little bit, and we'd line up for chow at the cafeteria, or the mess hall as we called it, and he'd get in line with us because he knew that when his turn came up, the mess sergeant would have something for him, and he'd get fed. So he loved that.